Welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Taylor and today we're doing TBR prompts pick my November TBR. But before I open the video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you love all things books. Whew, the fall season. She is strong with me right now. Do we see the Casper shirt we have on? We are definitely going a very cutesy, girly, pink Halloween vibe right now. It is only October 23rd when I am filming this, so I still have like a whole other week of Halloween spooky season reading to get done. So this is a little preemptive, but I am trying to film this in time to get it up for you on Monday. Plus, the month of November is going to be me starting to pre-film for Bookmas, which is 12 days of Bookmas. So I've got a lot of videos that I've got to pre-film for. So we'll see how this TBR works out. So far I have finished 2.5 books on my October TBR, still a whole other week to get through them. But if we all remember correctly, from October to December, my reading is really impeded by the fact that I am a very much so seasonal reader. I wouldn't say necessarily a mood reader, but when it comes to Halloween and Christmas, I like me a good Hallmarky meets the vibes read, and that's how it's been. But if you're new to this, I'm going to choose 6 books off of my physical and my Kindle TBR. Ideally, you want 4 physical books, 2 Kindle books, so that we can get through both of them. I have been trying to whittle down my physical TBR, so if you've been with me all year round, you'll see that the shelves are slowly getting filled up with things other than books, which, you know what, you need the space. I need the space. I need space to get through things. But I have my Taylor Swift cup in here. You may see some prompts repeated from months past just because I have some old prompts and new prompts pushed together. And without further ado, let's pick our books. Okay, so our first prompt of the month is going to be a random color generator picks the book. Obviously, we know how I've been on my my random wheel generator situation, so that ought to be fun. I think I have most colors of the rainbow to choose from. Oh, we're also going to be choosing another color. This one specifically, a yellow cover. Oh, oof. I don't know if I have a lot of yellow covers to choose from. So we'll see. We'll see how it works out. Then we have something that is historical. Okay, I don't normally read historical. But do I have anything on my physical shelves that are even remotely historical? I guess we will find out. So, you know what? It's been an interesting month. Apparently I have only my colorful prompts that pink cover. Okay, well, you know what? We do have pink covers to choose from. Okay. And then our 5th prompt is, holy shit, blue book. Is something in the universe? Did all of the colorful prompts get stuck at the bottom of this? Apparently, for the month of November, they said it's going to be a rainbow reading month. Okay, final prompt. What are the odds to color? Okay, cool. Enemies to lovers. Enemies to lovers. Cool, cool, cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 prompts picked out. I'm going to need to do the random color generator wheel, but hopefully it's not yellow, pink, or blue, because we already have that on here. What are the odds? What are the odds? I know I love a good color, but damn. Okay, let's pick the books. All right, so we are at our physical TBR shelf right now. So my random color generator picked a pastel pink and green, which, I mean, for November feels particularly good because, you know, wicked. So I think I'm gonna pick this one just because we've got pinks and greens all up in it, and it is a cute little fall time romance. Plus, I really enjoyed the Timothy Janowski book that I read last month, and I would like to get through the backlog. So for historical, I think these are the only 2 for sure that I know that is historical. This one takes place in 19th century, so 1800s. And this one is also placed in like a fantastical version of the 1900s because it's based on actual historical events. So I feel like I should continue series, but this has been on my shelf for so long. I feel like What the River Knows, I don't know. Honestly, I also... So here's the thing. I don't really have a book that fits yellow cover. So I could maybe pick this one because it has it. You know what? I'm just going to pick this one for historical because I think this one matches the prompt the most. What the River Knows is going to be our historical prompt. For our pink cover, this and then I think Imago by Octavia Butler are the only pink books that I currently physically own. However, I will probably start my holiday reading towards the end of November, so I'm going to pick Love in the Winter Wonderland by Abiola Bello. Here's the thing, I have plenty of blue books to choose from. We have To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Christo. This is very much so classic book talk book. The Dragon Republic, it's already appeared on here once. Would be nice to continue the Poppy War. I just don't know if my mind is in the high fantasy vibe. Something tells me this is a book that I'm going to have to pick up at the beginning of next year, just because for some reason me at the beginning of the year is way more into high fantasy than the end of the year. Me at the end of the year just wants like hallmarky cutesy goodness. Heavenly Bodies by Imani Ariu. I really do want to read this book this year, and definitely it's top of my list. I don't know if this would fit the Enemies to Lovers prompt, but I do think it's on Kindle Unlimited, so we'll see about that. Then The Spells We Cast by Jason June. This one isn't necessarily a super blue cover, it's definitely more navy, but I love Jason June, and it would be interesting to see what this book gives. I think just because it's the one that piques my interest the most, I'm going to put Heavenly Bodies by Imani Ariu. Plus, I have been really craving like books that I can read on my Kindle, and I'm pretty sure I can get this on Kindle Unlimited. So here's the thing. I have yellow cover and Enemies to Lovers left to pick from. Now, I don't have a Kindle that does color. I'm quite sure, though, for yellow cover, I'm going to pick Work For It by Talia Hibbert, just because I'm quite sure this cover is yellow in real life, and I love Talia Hibbert, and I'm always going to be like down to read a book from her. So that one for sure. Then we need an Enemies to Lovers. So let me see what I got kicking around in here for like enemies situation. Okay, we could finish Oathbound because slight enemies, rivals to lover situation, but is Oathbound at that stage anymore? I don't know. People say that there's an enemies, rivals to lovers plot in the Dragon Republic. Possibly, I don't know. I have yet to finish Glow. I haven't started Glow of the Everflame. It is on my TBR for this month. We'll see about that. Don't know for sure. The Book of Azrael, quite sure is enemies to lovers. That is a possibility. Then we have These Violent Delights, which has been on the list for a hot sec. Been on the Kindle TBR, probably the longest of any book. I do want to read it. So here's the thing. I think my top two contenders for enemies to lovers are The Book of Azrael and These Violent Delights. These Violent Delights I feel like is a classic, like, beloved YA fantasy novel on Book Talk and BookTube. Would love to get to it. I have enjoyed my YA fantasy this year. And then The Book of Azrael is another, like, beloved indie, like, adult, like, romantasy situation. So both of them, I think, really the only difference is, like, YA and adult versus, like, slightly more historical, lighthearted, I guess probably not as dark. I feel like The Book of Azrael will go. I see we have one adult romantasy on the... I think, honestly, truthfully, where I'm at in life right now, I'm just really enjoying a good YA romantasy, so we're going to put These Violent Delights on for our enemies to lovers. I'm quite sure it's enemies to lovers. Someone may fact check me in the comments, but let's go over all the books we picked for the month of November. Okay, so for my pink cover book, we chose Love in Winter Wonderland. This one is by Abiola Bello. This is definitely a Christmas holiday romance. It is YA. On the back it says, charming, handsome Trey Anderson is struggling to balance the pressures of school popularity with a job at his family's local bookshop, Wonderland. Quirky, creative Ariel Spencer needs tuition for the art program of her dreams, and an opening at Wonderland is the answer. When Trey and Ariel learn that Wonderland is on the brink of being shut down by a neighborhood gentrifier, they team up to stop the doors from closing before the Christmas Eve deadline and embark on a hate-to-love journey that will change them forever. Heartwarming and romantic, this read is the gift that keeps on giving, no matter the season. Seeing as Netflix seems to be light on holiday romance movies that I seem to want to watch this year, I will gladly take this one. So, yeah. Then our next one is our enemies to lovers. It looks like we're going to have a lot of like rivals to lovers situations. On here we have These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. These are on my Kindles. I'm not looking up the synopsis here. I do believe it is 1920s rival gangs based off of Romeo and Juliet. I think there's magic. Not sure. I think it's set in Shanghai. Possibly. Not 100% sure. Then for our yellow cover, also on Kindle, Work for It by Talia Hibbert. I have no idea. I just download Talia Hibbert books on Kindle Limited as I see them because she is one of my all-time favorite romance authors. Will auto-buy anything she puts out there. So there's daisies on the cover. That's all I know. So, well, we'll see. We'll see what it is. I'm assuming workplace romance given the title Work for It. Who knows? Then we have our blue book, which I think most of the books on here I can actually read on Kindle, so I may be getting a whole lot of use out of my Kindle. Heavenly Bodies by Imani Ariu. So this one does not have a snuff. Hey! I didn't realize, I know it's special edition, I didn't realize it had like character art in there. Huh, is there more character art? There's a map. Let's see, is there any more character art that I'm not aware of in here? Huh. Not 100%. Oh, there's the description. Alright, the back says, you know the most dangerous kind of villain, a woman with nothing left to lose. In a world ruled by the cruel and merciless stars, Alara has been cursed by fate. A prophecy promises she will fall for a star, but that it will kill them both. So when Ariete, star of wrath and war, descends to wreak havoc on Alara's kingdom of night, she flees her home, only to be captured by the neighboring Helios, kingdom of light, and falls straight into the arms of an enemy prince. Fearing that Ariete might turn his sights to Helios next, Prince Lorenzo is forced to train Alara as a weapon, one worthy of battling against the tyrannical reign of the stars. But there are shadows even within the kingdom of light, and they threaten to reveal the darkness in Lorenzo's past and the ancient magic that slumbers in Alara's veins. And with it all comes an undeniable star-crossed pull between Alara and Lorenzo that neither can seem to resist. This just sounds good. It sounds like a fun romantasy read. I do believe it's a little spicy. I don't know, it just sounds good. Everyone seems to like it that's read it, so I'm excited. Then we had our historical book. So I had a couple options for this. I don't tend to read historical stories. Sorry, historical fiction's not my vein. What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez. This one is a historical centering around Egyptian mythology, and you know I love to read anything Egyptian mythology related. So this is about Bolivian Argentina. Inez Oliveira belongs to the glittering upper society of 19th century Buenos Aires, and the rest of the world, the town is steeped in old world magic that's been largely left behind or forgotten. Inez has everything a girl might want except for the one thing she yearns for the most, her globe-trotting parents who frequently leave her behind. When she receives word of their tragic deaths, Inez inherits their massive fortune and a mysterious guardian, an archaeologist in partnership with his Egyptian brother-in-law. Yearning for answers, Inez sails to Cairo, bringing her sketch pads and a golden ring her father sent to her for safekeeping before he died. But upon her arrival, the old world magic tethered to the ring pulls her down a path where she discovers there's more to her parents' disappearance than what her guardian led her to believe. With her guardian's infuriatingly handsome assistant thwarting her at every turn, Inez must rely on ancient magic to uncover the truth about her parents' disappearance, or risk becoming a pawn in a larger game that will kill her. The Mummy meets Death on the Nile in this lush, immersive historical fantasy filled with adventure, a rivals to lovers romance, and shocking twists and turns. There's one thing about me, I'll manage to find a rivals to lovers romance anywhere. Because I think, even though we picked enemies to lovers, somehow I think most books I have on here have that romance. Then the last one is Random Color Generator, and it picked up like a pastel pink and green. So we have greens and we have pastel pinks here. This is Once Upon You and Me by Timothy Jamowski. We need a short, quick, easy, cutesy little like romantic read. Plus, it's getting a little straight on here. We needed some gay in there. We need at least one queer book a month. That is, in fact, the goal. So, this one is called, it says charming fairy tale meets spicy bedtime story in this deliciously enchanting age gap LGBTQIA plus romance. Okay, so the premise of this one really intrigues me. So the back says, when Taylor Frost's boss, wait a second. God damn, am I going to be reading someone with the same names? 2 pet peeves I have. Taylor is a huge common name. It's my name. However, if that's in a book, it does turn me off a little. Second, if a book is set in Tennessee or around where I live, and I'm like, don't want to read that. So yay. Amy flies him across the country to prep her daughter's Sweet 16 at the Storybook Endings Resort in the Catskills. The solo mission is well within his wheelhouse. Taylor is excellent at his job, except he's probably not supposed to flirt with the Resort Mountain's man of a manager, Ethan Golding, because the rugged older man is also the birthday girl's father, aka Amy's ex-husband. Oops. For Ethan, his divorce seemed like the bad ending to his romantic story, and now making his daughter's Sweet 16 dreams come true is the closest he'll get to the kind of magic happiness in fairy tales, until adorable Taylor has him wondering if maybe this is just the beginning of a more erotic kind of bed story. The only problem is Amy and how very not okay she'd be with the chemistry between her assistant and her ex, if only forbidden flings ever led to happily ever afters. Listen, Boss's ex-husband. Don't know that I've read that before, but I'm quite excited to see how that one shakes out. And those are all the books that we picked for our November TBR. Will we get to all of them? Who knows? Because again, I have plans for Bookmas videos that I will be pre-filming in the month of November. And let's just face it, there's a lot of reading that needs to get done in that time span. But I'm very excited. We have a nice variety of books to pick from romance to fantasy. Really, it's romance and fantasy. There is no variation amongst romance. It's mostly all romance and romantasy. Maybe not as much variation in my reading this month as one would think, but I am in a romance mood. Let me know what you're excited to start reading in the month of November, and I will see y'all in the next one.